Not in the way at all.
Yeah, that's fine. Got a remarkable woman back there, I see.
Thursday?
That's right.
Congratulations to you. All right, thanks everybody for being here today. We're excited that the Board of Supervisors approved a major investment of American Rescue Plan Acts that funds today to increase affordable housing in our community. Polk County has undertaken a public planning process to ensure that strategic investments are made in 4 categories: mental health, water quality, economic stability, and affordable housing. We took input from the public through a survey. We have held numerous public meetings to hear from stakeholders and the public and work groups of subject matter experts and Polk County residents that meeting to create recommendations. Our goal for our ARPA funds to help invest in system changes that will have an impact for years to come. We are excited that today we voted on the first major investment, affordable housing. This investment of $15 million will support the creation up to 600 new units and will help support projects that are ready to put more units into our community today. These funds are focused on supporting individuals in our community who are below 30% of area median income. For a single individual, this is an income of $19,000 per year, and for a family of 4, this is an income of $27,000 per year. Affordability for these income levels should be $480 to $685 per month, and these types of housing are really scarce in our community. Polk County's ARPA funds will target these income levels and provide support to projects that create permanent supportive housing. These types of units are not only affordable, but they provide a level of case management that is very critical for ensuring that low-income residents remain housed. The Polk County Housing Trust Fund has a well-established process to identify development projects that are in line with the goals and needs of our community. Our ARPA funds will be administered through Polk County Housing Trust Fund. $3 million of our $15 million investment will be used to create a revolving loan that will help fund affordable housing projects in the short term and ensure that those funds are available for years to come to help local developers. We are also investing $150,000 in collaboration with the City of Des Moines to pilot a centralized case management project that we hope to build a success on our homeless centralized intake process and to streamline that process. I'd like to thank the members of our work group who brought these recommendations to the Board of Supervisors, which include Polk County Housing Trust Fund, Impact, Community Action Network, Anawim Housing, and our Community Family Youth Service Department. They also heard from many community members and organizations. And now I want to turn it over to Eric, but first I want to make sure, and as you see, all of our board members are here today. Not one is not here, but most of our members were all engaged in this process. I'm happy to have them here, but I do want to introduce Eric to say a few words.
Well, first of all, to all of you, on behalf of the housing community in Polk County, thank you. Thank you very much. The folks that are standing behind me have proven themselves to be real leaders in this area of making sure that the most vulnerable folks in our community have housing. We know, they know, that housing is really foundational to everything that we value about this community. And by targeting folks who are the most rent burdened in the community, that is the folks that are literally paying, in many cases, 50 or 60% of every dollar they earn on housing, will make not only an incredible difference to those families and those individuals, but will make an incredible difference in this community. It is important that those figures and those salaries that Angela mentioned, those are folks that come from all different circumstances. They are the folks that, yes, that you see on the street corners more and more today. that have not only physical and mental health concerns, but really are those folks that are scraping by with money they can collect or bottles they can return. It also will help support those folks that really have been impacted by the pandemic, those service workforce people that we talk about, those client-facing folks who have been bounced from job to job, not knowing whether or not they have 10 hours of work this week or 40 hours of work this week. Folks who are working hard to try and support themselves and support their families, but no matter how hard they try, and no matter how many jobs they work or hours they work, there is still not enough money to pay the rent and all of the other expenses that they face. So by targeting this economic demographic, we are not only addressing many, many social problems and social concerns in this community, but we're also beginning to address some of the workforce issues and concerns that we have for those working folks that just, no matter how hard they try, can't seem to find the dollars. So Angela mentioned a number of about 600 units. So what's that going to mean if we do reach that 600 units? Well, I have to tell you, it's a once-in-a-generation opportunity to bring on many new units of affordable housing. But unfortunately, the 2021 National Low-Income Housing Gap Report indicates that Polk County alone is short 10,500 units that are affordable and available to this demographic. So while we don't stand here today and minimize what the Board of Supervisors has done, we will say and do say that the job is not done. And so we call on the community to, again, begin to talk about what kinds of things we can do to fill in the gap so that we don't have folks who are spending way, way too much of their hard-earned income on housing. So again, thank you for your vision. Thank you for your long-standing and very broad commitment to affordable housing. And we celebrate all of those folks that when this is over, are going to have a place to call home.
Question?
Can you describe what type of housing this would be? Like new construction of an apartment building would cost way more than $15 million. So is this like the Anna Wynn Days Inn conversion? Is that a good example of maybe what we'd be seeing here?
Yes, I think that we have heard of projects like, oh, I'm sorry. We have heard of projects like Anna Wynn's Days Inn that are out there for hotel conversions, for apartment refreshes, for adaptive reuse of existing structures that can quickly, because we all know that there are short time triggers on this money, that can quickly be converted into affordable housing, and that many of these folks will come needing and deserving supportive services from social workers. And so putting them in, putting them in more of a congregate site, not large warehouses, but a congregate site where supportive services can be delivered on a regular basis is going to be a target for these dollars. Actually, so one of the things that I did right after I left the Board of Supervisors meeting this morning was to tell our development director, our associate executive director, Lori Kozlerich, to send out a meeting invite for next week for our development committee so that we can start to prepare the application. Our hope is to have the application on the street for developers to respond to by the end of the month. I know that I have talked to at least 3 developers who have sort of heard bits and pieces of this, who have brought ideas that I would say, you know, in our parlance are shovel ready. Better be.
Yeah,
Yeah,
2026.
we have till 2026. And I think, again, while I don't want to discount anything, I will say that greenfield, what I call greenfield development with this money and these projects is probably not the kind of project that is going to be successful in applying.
And then the revolving fund, when that money comes back to you to send back out, will it still be targeted to the 30% AMI?
Yes, and so the idea of the installment or the revolving fund was right now, for all of you folks, and Kim, you know this as well as anybody because you're right about it, we have a lot of folks from both coasts that are coming in here and snapping up apartment buildings and hotels, and our developers are going to be competing with those folks for a limited number of buildings. And so the revolving fund was put together with the idea that it could be a way for our developers, for basically the nonprofit developers or developers that want to target and build affordable housing for extremely low income tenants, to be able to have that revolving fund to use for in a competition between a private equity firm in California that can write a check for earnest money for $500,000 and have it wired in 20 minutes. We want to be able to be in the ball game with those folks who are buying a lot of our naturally occurring affordable housing right now.
This levels the playing field.
It does.
That's what we wanted to do.
Yeah, would we have you step up? Can you just talk about how critical the development is? I know we've been talking about it forever, and we understand the need.
Well, as I said, this levels the playing field. That's why we're doing this. It gives all our nonprofit developers a chance to buy the buildings, get the buildings, acquire them, and you know, we've been talking about affordable housing for decades, and as Eric said, you know, we're still going to be short, but at least we get our foot in the right direction, and we get 600. Hopefully, we get 600 units in the marketplace, so we can get these folks off the street and get them where they need to be for case management. You know, I look at Ann Bacon back there. You know, every day we're looking at folks that need housing. If you read the paper today, you'll see that we've got refugees coming from all over that they're still staying in extended stays. They need housing. That's what they need more than anything, and we need to get them in housing.
Angela, you had mentioned a match from the city for the case management. Is that a dollar-to-dollar match? Do you know yet what they've?
Yeah, that's a I think they're participating at $75,000, and we're participating at $75,000.
Okay, so 150 is the total.
Yes, I believe so. Wasn't that right, Eric? Or we're doing 150 and they're doing 150. Sorry.
Yes.
Can either of you speak to the community advocate hiring that's mentioned toward the bottom of the release, the $150,000 that's being used to fund those 2 new positions that aren't tied to specific homelessness agencies?
It's really about outreach, to go out in the community and check on these folks. And really, we already have what we call centralized intake that we've been doing for years. And so this will give more of an opportunity for those people when they go out to the camps or out on the street to really focus on what are their needs. So we really need more people to do that in the community. And we'll have a couple folks, additional folks, to really work with centralized intake to help people get where they need to be. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Lord.